HQ, do you read?
This is HQ.
It's the enemy! Suppressing fire!
Understood. The state of alert has been lifted. Resume Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements.
Need backup! We've got company! Back me up!
Snake?
Got an update for me, Rose?
You should try and up your psyche. And with the enemy on your trail, you can't concentrate on getting your psyche back up. You'll have to find safety first. You're going to make it out of this. I know you will. Snake?
Got an update for me, Rose?
You seem to be having problems with your psyche. And the enemy's after you too. It'll be difficult to recover your psyche in this state. Get to safety as soon as you can. I know you can do it, Snake. Hang in there. Do you need something?
Up for a quick psychoanalysis?
You should try and up your psyche. And with the enemy on your trail, you can't concentrate on getting your psyche back up. You'll have to find safety first. You're going to make it out of this. I know you will. Hi, it's Rose.
What's my status?
Let's see, your psyche is looking a bit low, and you're being pursued by the enemy. Not exactly the best conditions for recovering your psyche. The sooner you can get to safety, the better. I know you can do it, Snake. Hang in there.
Where'd he go?
Are you doing all right, Snake?
Hanging in there.
You seem to be having problems with your psyche. And with the enemy on your trail, you can't concentrate on getting your psyche back up. You'll have to find safety first. I know you can do it, Snake. Hang in there.
HQ, come in.
This is HQ.
Need something?
What's up, Doc?
You'll be putting yourself at risk if you lose any more psyche. Take any steps necessary to recover it.
Will do.
Snake, are you okay? Your psyche's looking awfully low there.
Yeah. I can't seem to get out of this slump.
You should find a nice, safe place to rest and replenish your psyche. It may help to equip some Munya, too, if you have any.
Munya.
It'll help you to relax and should help your psyche gauge recover faster.
Okay. I'll give it a try.
This is Rose. How can I help?
I need a psych check.
Your psyche is getting dangerously low. You need to recover it.
I know.
Snake, what makes you tense? Stressors, the factors that cause stress, can be divided into several types. They can be psychological, social, biological, chemical, or physical. In battlefield terms, that corresponds to the presence of enemies, the battlefield environment, biological and chemical weapons, and physical wounds and hunger caused by combat. Any of these factors can cause stress to build up. So you need to pay attention not only to your health, but also to your psyche, especially when engaged in combat. Need something?
What's up, Doc?
Your psyche is at an extremely dangerous level. You need to take immediate action to recover it.
Got it.
It looks like your psyche is down. Do what you can to change that by getting rid of stressors. What's up, Snake?
Got an update for me?
You'll be putting yourself at risk if you lose any more psyche. Take any steps necessary to recover it.
Will do.
Take my advice. Work on building back your psyche. Trust me, it'll make a big difference in your mission. Yes, Snake?
Just here for my checkup.
Your psyche is getting dangerously low. You need to recover it.
I know.
It looks like your psyche is down. Do what you can to change that by getting rid of stressors. Rose here. How's it going?
Super.
You've lost a large amount of psyche. You'd better take care of that right away.
Got it.
Take my advice. Work on building back your psyche. Trust me, it'll make a big difference in your mission. What's on your mind?
Just checking in.
Your psyche is getting dangerously low. You need to recover it.
I know.
Stress is an adaptive response your body takes to protect itself when confronted by a threat. It happens to everybody. There are no exceptions. Everyone gets stressed sometimes. Fear, anxiety, and worry are examples of psychological stress responses. Some people might not like to admit they have these negative feelings inside, But being aware of your own stress is essential to keeping it under control. You can't fight an enemy you know nothing about, right? The same is true of stress. To recover your psyche, you need to know where your stress is coming from. Give me a call whenever you feel it getting low. Yes, Snake?
Just here for my checkup.
Your psyche is getting dangerously low. You need to recover it.
I know.
Take my advice. Work on building back your psyche. Trust me, it'll make a big difference in your mission. Hi, this is Rose.
I need an update on my psyche.
You've lost a large amount of psyche. You'd better take care of that right away.
Got it. Rose, I'm feeling a little run down.
I can tell. I think your gear might be a little too heavy. What do you think?
Yeah, could be. Is that what's got my psyche down?
Most likely. Why not try unequipping anything you're not using right at this moment?
Understood. The state of alert has been lifted. Resume positions.
This is Rose. How can I help?
I need a psych check.
Your psyche is at an extremely dangerous level. You need to take immediate action to recover it.
Got it.
In order to effectively manage your stress, you first need to assess it. Think about what happens to people when they get tense. Some people feel more tired than usual. Others experience stronger emotions or exhibit incoherent behavior or become dependent on things like alcohol or tobacco.
Tobacco, huh?
Some experience insomnia, depression, or have trouble concentrating. Others find themselves feeling apathetic, mentally drained. Everyone has their own way of reacting to stress. The important thing is to get a feel for what effect stress has on you. Pay attention to your psych gauge to learn what sort of situation causes it to go down. Rose here. How's it going?
Super.
You'll be putting yourself at risk if you lose any more psych. Take any steps necessary to recover it.
Will do.
It looks like your psyche is down. Do what you can to change that by getting rid of stressors. Hello, Snake.
What do you have for me, Rose?
You've lost a large amount of psyche. You'd better take care of that right away.
Got it.
One method of managing stress is taking the more obvious routes. Overeating, drinking alcohol, smoking, complaining or acting irritable, relying on sleeping pills. These are only short-term fixes and may lead to addiction or other serious problems. In your case, Snake, smoking seems to help recover your psyche. But it's not a good idea to become dependent on it. I'd advise you to watch your intake. What's on your mind?
Just checking in.
Your psyche is getting dangerously low. You need to recover it.
I know.
One method of stress management is to get your mind off the problem for a while. Watch TV or a movie. Look at paintings or pretty scenery. Get some rest. Take a break. Keep yourself busy with a hobby. All these things work well, but bear in mind they're really nothing more than emergency stopgap measures. There's still the matter of getting to the root of the problem.
I don't see any TVs around here. And the scenery...
Well, how about paintings or sculptures? Or listening to music? That works too. Or sometimes it helps if you stand by a river or a pond. Look around for a place or site that might help you recover your psyche. Rose here. How's it going?
Super.
Your psyche is at an extremely dangerous level. You need to take immediate action to recover it.
Got it.
The best methods for managing stress are comprehensive methods. Getting a healthy amount of exercise, meditating, letting yourself relax mentally and physically, not focusing on negative thoughts, counseling from a trusted professional. These approaches target both your body and your mind. But I know they aren't exactly convenient for someone in the middle of battle. So, Snake, try one of the easier techniques instead. To keep your stress levels under control, use whatever method is available to you at the time. That'll help you maintain a high level of psyche. I'm not sure if you consider me a trusted professional, but I am here if you ever need to talk. I might even be able to help. What's on your mind?
Just checking in.
You've lost a large amount of psyche. You'd better take care of that right away.
Got it.
Ever since the Iraq War, the U.S. military has deployed CSPs to the battlefield to counteract PTSD among soldiers. CSP stands for Combat Stress Platoon. They're there to care for soldiers' mental health. Each CSP, including mine, is comprised of a doctor, 2 psychologists, and 3 counselors. Nowadays, though, most cases are dealt with internally by nanomachines, the SOP system. I can't help but feel there are serious ethical issues with manipulating people's senses like that. Though I must admit, the system has led to a dramatic drop in the number of soldiers exhibiting symptoms of shell shock. What's on your mind?
Just checking in.
You'll be putting yourself at risk if you lose any more psyche. Take any steps necessary to recover it.
Will do.
The primary mission of CSPs like mine is to provide care for soldiers suffering from combat stress.
Sounds like a good gig.
The symptoms were first identified during the American Civil War. During World War I, they called it shell shock. Today, it's known as post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD.
You mean combat fatigue?
Right. That's how soldiers have referred to it. Unlike external wounds, psychological damage is not readily visible, making it that much harder to detect. The only way to diagnose it is to look at the victim's stress level and determine whether or not he's able to effectively engage in battle. Hi, this is Rose.
I need an update on my psyche.
You've lost a large amount of psyche. You'd better take care of that right away.
Got it.
In some cases, soldiers display symptoms of PTSD immediately after undergoing a traumatic experience. When these symptoms persist for more than 2 days, it's referred to as ASD, or acute stress disorder. When they last for more than a month, it's called PTSD. Left untreated, ASD can develop into PTSD, so it needs to be taken care of as quickly as possible. If something stressful happens to you, let me know right away. Hello, Snake.
What do you have for me, Rose?
You've lost a large amount of psyche. You'd better take care of that right away.
Got it.
When a soldier is suffering from combat stress, it's extremely important that we respond quickly and effectively. Today, we use the term 4R in PIES to describe this action. The 4R in 4R in PIES stands for 4 words that describe the response. Reassurance, getting the soldier to feel at ease. For example, we might get his commanding officer or supervisor to tell him he's okay. Rest, letting the soldier cool down mentally and physically. Replenishment, having the soldier recharge his batteries by eating and sleeping. And restoration, having the soldier talk about his feelings and getting him to calm down. The 4 R's represent the core thinking behind dealing with soldiers who suffer from stress. The PIES in 4R and PIES can be thought of as the principles that guide the execution of the 4 R's. Proximity, staying close to the soldier. Immediacy, acting quickly. Expectancy, giving the soldier hope that he'll get better. And simplicity, taking care of him in a clear and uncomplicated manner. Take the first letter of each principle and you get the word PIES. Snake, you can apply these principles yourself when managing your own stress. When your psyche runs low, act quickly and appropriately to remedy the situation. I'm trusting you to take care of yourself. What's up, Snake?
Got an update for me?
Your psyche is getting dangerously low. You need to recover it.
I know.
In recent years, more and more Special Forces units have started to hold debriefing sessions after missions, giving team members a chance to talk to each other, which can reduce the risk of developing combat stress.
Debriefings are nothing new. We've always used them to deliver post-action reports.
Those reports are important too, but I'm talking about using debriefing specifically as a stress management tool.
They really do all that?
Yeah, they do. Let me give you an example of how to conduct a debriefing. First, everybody sits in a circle and goes over the rules. That is, they agree that anything discussed does not go beyond that room. Then they take turns and tell the others about what happened to them on the mission. It doesn't matter who goes first. After that, they describe the first thing they thought of at the time, relate how they felt and reacted. The realizations they come to during that process help them rearrange their thoughts, and at the end they go over their feelings once again.
Adorable.
Sharing each other's experiences like this and having others understand where you're coming from helps relieve stress. This is Rose. How can I help?
I need a psych check.
Your psyche is at an extremely dangerous level. You need to take immediate action to recover it.
Got it.
There's actually a term for these debriefings where everybody gets together and talks after the mission. They're called CISDs, Critical Incident Stress Debriefings. CISDs have become popular as a stress management technique among firefighters and others involved in disaster relief. They say being at a disaster site is just like being on a battlefield. The stress you endure is as serious as a soldier's. So the concept of CIS developed at around the same time the term PTSD first began to appear. Now, military and police organizations are starting to pick up on CISD. It's proving just as effective at dealing with stress among soldiers as it is among firefighters. Oh, hi, Snake.
Rose,
Your psyche is getting dangerously low. You need to recover it.
I know. Rose, don't some types of people get stressed more easily than others?
That's a good point. Go-getters for one, serious types also. Studies have shown that this type of person is more prone to stress. Lately, they've been doing physiological screenings through blood tests to determine which types of people suffer the most psychological stress in combat. The results are used to help determine which units soldiers should be assigned to. In a way, it's just another kind of threat management.
You can tell that much from blood.
Well, I wouldn't stake my reputation on it, but you could say there's kind of a trend. Some experts even claim that some genes may make people more susceptible to fear.
Kind of like the flip side of soldier genes.
Right. Soldier genes. Hello, Snake.
What do you have for me, Rose?
Your psyche is at an extremely dangerous level. You need to take immediate action to recover it.
Got it. Rose, how do I keep my psyche from going down? Isn't there a way to develop resistance to stress?
Well, there are many types of training that involve extremely high levels of stress, like escape and evasion or ranger training. But what you need is to focus on managing the stress as it accumulates. It's not healthy to let it build up inside. No matter how big the cup, keep pouring water into it, and eventually it's going to overflow. Snake, you have to dump some of that water out once in a while. Here's what you need to know. The best way for us to confront combat stress is not to train ourselves to resist it, but to train ourselves to recognize internalized stress early on and release it.
Recognize it.
In your case, you can assess your stress level by looking at your psych gauge. Always keep an eye on it. What's up, Snake?
Got an update for me?
You'll be putting yourself at risk if you lose any more psych. Take any steps necessary to recover it.
Will do.
Are you familiar with the term catharsis?
Catharsis, sure.
It comes from a Greek word meaning cleansing. When we remember a traumatic past experience, it causes us to feel afraid, distressed, insecure, and we tend to suppress those feelings. Allowing ourselves to express these pent-up emotions removes that burden and relieves our psychological tensions. It's called catharsis. We experience catharsis in our daily lives in many different ways, by telling others how we feel, or by painting a picture, watching sports, going on a trip, or even yelling at the top of our lungs. Snake, if you ever feel like a past experience is making you feel uncomfortable, talk to me about it. It could help you experience catharsis.
I'll, keep it in mind.
Hi, this is Rose.
I need an update on my psyche.
Your psyche is getting dangerously low. You need to recover it.
I know.
The process we use to prevent or relieve stress is called coping. There are two basic types, problem-focused and emotion-focused. The first type targets the stress factors themselves, while the second works to alleviate the suffering caused by that stress. Going back to what I said earlier, changing your environment by getting to a place where you can relax is problem-focused coping, while changing your mood by eating and resting is emotion-focused coping. Choosing the right coping technique for the right situation can save your life. I can help you with that, if you'll let me.
All right.
Yes, Snake?
Just here for my checkup.
You've lost a large amount of psyche. You'd better take care of that right away.
Got it.
In psychology, mental and emotional wounds are known as trauma. Of course, in your line of work, you use the word trauma a little differently.
Yeah, like trauma pads. Body armor woven from high-tensile fibers can stop bullets and shrapnel from penetrating. But in the end, it's no more than a piece of cloth. It does nothing to stop the bullet's kinetic energy from being transferred to the wearer's soft tissue. You're lucky if you get off with just bruises. More than likely, you're left with a few fractures, broken bones. That's why you wear trauma pads, to absorb the shock so it does as little damage as possible. They make all kinds of them. Some have steel plates designed to diffuse the shock of impact over a wide area. Others use shock-absorbing gels to convert kinetic energy into heat.
That's all well and good if you're only worried about your body, Snake. But so far, nobody's invented armor against psychological trauma. That's where I come in. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to give me a call. This is Rose. How can I help?
I need a psych check.
Your psyche is getting dangerously low. You need to recover it.
I know.
Are you familiar with the effects of relaxation?
As much as anyone else. I like to have a good time.
In a state of relaxation, muscle tension is released. Breathing and pulse become slower, and blood pressure is kept at reasonable levels. Brain activity also becomes calmer, inhibiting anxiety and depression. It helps you settle down and reduces the amount of stress you're feeling.
I could use some of that. It's hard to get anything done when you're flustered.
The simplest method of relaxation is muscle relaxation. Muscle relaxation involves tensing up a certain muscle and then releasing the tension to get it accustomed to feeling limp. As you repeat the process of tensing and releasing, the shift to the limp state, that is the relaxed state, gradually becomes more natural. The usual method is to start with your arm and face muscles, then move down through your chest and abdomen and finish with your legs. Tension can really build up in both body and mind on these long missions. I'd seriously consider taking a break and using relaxation techniques at least once every hour.
Thanks for the tip.
Need something?
What's up, Doc?
Your psyche is at an extremely dangerous level. You need to take immediate action to recover it.
Got it.
One technique you can use to relax is autogenic training, which employs self-suggestion.
What?
It's a behavioral therapy in which you regulate both mind and body by changing their respective states. You assume a relaxed position and think of a formula that expresses your body's sense of weight and temperature. You then chant this formula in your mind until your body feels as if it's actually experiencing that state. Once you've mastered one formula, you move on to the next. In repeating this process, your body gradually transitions toward the state expressed in the formula, and eventually you learn to regulate body and mind.
I've heard something like that before. A guy from the New Zealand SAS told me about it. When it's cold outside but too dangerous to build a fire, they look at a picture of a fire instead. Said it made their bodies feel warmer.
It's just another form of self-suggestion. If you think something hard enough, you can produce actual physiological changes in your body. They may have come up with that technique themselves through experience, but I suspect they had a little help from a psychologist.
Kind of like you.
Yeah, kind of like me. Yes, Snake?
Just here for my checkup.
You've lost a large amount of psyche. You'd better take care of that right away.
Got it.
We counselors often talk about stress assessments. I understand you soldiers have your own type of assessment. Threat assessment.
Right. An accurate evaluation of your opponent before you take action.
That makes sense. Incorporating enemy psychology into your threat assessment and management enables you to locate, evade, and engage the enemy more efficiently. Not only does it give you an advantage, it helps you seize the initiative on the battlefield as a whole. For someone in your situation, it's absolutely essential to remain sensitive to the enemy's psychological state, to their emotions. Hi, this is Rose.
I need an update on my psyche.
Your psyche is getting dangerously low. You need to recover it.
I know.
So this solid eye, it can detect and inform you of what emotions people are feeling? Dr. Emmerich told me all about it. The muscle groups in our faces move in specific patterns depending on the emotion being experienced. There's been a lot of research done on this, and the theory is being applied by intelligence and law enforcement agencies. Dr. Emmerich tells me the solid eye uses LiDAR to scan the target's face and pick up subtle muscle movements. And it picks up other physical reactions as well, like the way blood flows to the legs when we're afraid, or concentrates in the upper body when we get angry. Changes in pulse rate, skin temperature, sweat secretion. It takes all this information and calculates people's emotions with amazing accuracy.
No kidding. And here I thought it was all smoke and mirrors.
Our emotions have a significant impact on how we act. Knowing how people feel gives you a strategic edge. It must process data in much the same way as the nanomachines in SOP. I have to say, even speaking as a psychologist, your friend has developed quite a reliable system. Hello, Snake.
What do you have for me, Rose?
Your psyche is getting dangerously low. You need to recover it.
I know.
The little girl you have with you, Sunny, right?
Yeah.
She's got a bit of a stutter, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's been like that as long as I've known her. Any idea why?
There are a lot of underlying factors, but at the risk of oversimplifying, I think we have to consider the possibility that living in isolation from the outside world is placing her under a lot of stress.
Stress? Sunny chooses not to go outside. It's what she wants.
It's what she thinks she wants. Sooner or later, she's going to have to breathe the outside air. She can see the outside through a window, but it's never going to be the same as reaching out and touching the real world.
I know.
Jack rescued Sunny from the Patriots, and you and Dr. Emmerich are taking care of her. But she hasn't been saved yet.
Look, we're only trying to do what Sunny wants. What do you want me to do?
Let her know she's not alone. The outside world is full of pain and suffering. You need to let Sunny know that you'll always be there for her. She's still just a little girl. Show her some sympathy once in a while, okay?
Yeah, sure.